134th Annual Council Meeting. Now we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda, or does anybody have anything to add to the agenda? Moved and seconded to approve the agenda as circulated. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Does anybody around the table have a conflict of interest with any item on the agenda? If not, we'll go on to number 3, presentation, and we have the société touristique Bon Temps Vaughan Perret. And you can take your mic is on. You can introduce the rest of your team.
Yep, I'm here with Charles Leary from Trout Point Lodge and also from La Société Touristique Bon Temps. And I'd like to thank you guys for allowing us to come and speak with you, and also thank you for all the support you've given us over the last year. And I just wanted to quickly run through a quick checklist of Bon Temps accomplishments for 2013. In the marketing and branding area, we've set up a website. It's up and going. The region has a Twitter account. We managed to get a free Doers and Dreamers ad for the region, valued at about $1,015. We attended Saltscapes to premiere the region and introduce Bon Temps to Nova Scotia. Starlight Festival, we managed to get the Starlight Festival listed in Doers and Dreamers and well. We established the area as a distinct region within Yarmouth and Acadian Shores. Doers and Dreamers, there's now a Bon Temps section. We've completed all work to obtain the Starlight designation for Acadie and the Mi'kmaq lands, including getting a preliminary approval of the region skies from the Starlight Foundation in Spain. And that work was collected over last summer and fall and was submitted to the Starlight Foundation, was preliminarily accepted. And I'll get to where we are with that in a second. We have successfully formed a good working alliance with the Acadia First Nation group. They're going to be participating in our Starlight project and are contributing monies as well. We have established an educational Twitter feed to reinforce the brand identity and goodness, which I mentioned up above. In addition to establishing the Twitter account for Bon Temps, we've also set up an account that has, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but it's interesting and worth looking at, one for the Starlight area that we're hoping to have certified by the UNESCO Starlight Foundation, and that's Acadian Skies and Mi'kmaq lands. And it's quite interesting because, at least for now, we have 4 points inputted, and when you go to the Twitter feed, it tells you, where the best place in the region to view the dark skies are, whether it's Hectornuga, whether it's Gardner's Mills, Carleton area, whether it's East Kempt or Kempt, and it has a lot of good information. Our physicist who was with us last year was able to take existing data collection programs and weave them into our Twitter feed. So our Twitter feed is constantly telling the world where to go in Argyll Municipality, Clare, and that region where the Acadia First Nation is going to be to view the skies. And it gives other information too, when the skies are darkest, when the moon, the state of the moon, the sunset, all that sort of stuff too. If anybody would like, I can get you the URL for that so you can look at that. We've also obtained funding commitments from 4 municipal governments and the Southwest Nova UNESCO Biosphere Organization for the National Geographic Project. We have generated multiple positive stories on French and English radio, as well as in French and English newspapers from Le Courrier, the Chronicle Herald, and the Vanguard. In the area of community outreach and education, we helped develop Argyll 101, and for festivals and events, we successfully managed to hold the first annual Starlight Festival, which will be an event that will recur every year, and we hope will be a complement to, and maybe even a competitor to, Celtic Colors. At some point in time, I hope it will be as big, as grand, and we will woo some of those people away down here. So that's the goal. And Bon Temps has decided to focus on the Starlight Project. And we've spoken to you about geotourism. The geotourism project is a good project. It has good partners, but we've decided to seek another organization to take over the National Geographic project. And we understand that, if another organization takes over, that we can't guarantee that any of the municipal units that did give funding to Bon Temps would also extend that funding to them. But nonetheless, we're talking with one such organization is the Southwest Nova Biosphere. Bon Temps has decided to do that because our Starlight project, and if anybody has any questions or is not sure about what I'm talking about, feel free to interrupt me. But our Starlight project has managed to gain much more traction than we all ever thought possible, and much more quickly than we thought possible. I am not at liberty to say, but we have we have found someone who is going to pay for our certification. The municipality has paid for the application fee, and we have about $48,000 to pay for 2 certifications. One certification is for our protected areas, the Tobiatic. Argyll has one of the largest amounts of protected area of all the Southwest Nova communities. And we're seeking a reserve status for that. The reserve status cost about 20,000 euros. They gave us a discount of 15,000 euros. We're also seeking something that will be practical and good for our citizens, which is a Starlight tourism destination for the communities itself where people live and work. And we have, as I said, the data's been collected. We've been preliminarily accepted by the Starlight Foundation. The big stumbling block has been coming up with the $48,000. I said 15,000 euros for one designation, 15 for the other, and that comes out to about $48,000. And we have in fact found a very generous, very kind entity that is willing to help us. So we think we have the monies, and once we pay those monies, we can, an auditor will come, two auditors will come, a tourism auditor and an astronomy auditor. And the tourism auditor will come to our communities and try to assess our community's resources and help us develop a plan to give value to this designation, so that ultimately one such thing that we hope to do is bring in professionals who can assist in creating a certifying program or process so that anybody in our community, regardless of educational level, 5th grade, 8th grade, college, no background in science or astronomy, can take advantage of the Starlight program. They'll learn to be amateur astronomer guides, and those people, will be able to, I think, contribute a whole lot to our tourism offerings in the area and make us a much more attractive destination. And that it is a nighttime function means that people will be staying in our communities. And so we think from that point of view, it's got great potential. And once that's done, once we pass the audit, which we've been preliminarily passed, once we go through the final formal process, it shouldn't take very long to get the certification. And we are, in addition to having found the monies from this entity, we're going to be applying for around $50,000 from the Southwest Nova Tourism Task Team to market the new designation, to send people to trade shows, to get the word out that this thing exists, will be unique, will be the first in North America. And it's one of those natural features that we possess, our dark skies, our unpolluted skies, that almost no one in Eastern North America can compete with. There are a few places, but not many. So this is something that no one can really take away from us. And nobody can ever say they're better at than we are. You know, it's like saying you've got, you know, Whistler, or who knows, you know, one of the tallest mountains, you know, anywhere in the Rockies, and one of the most beautiful, majestic, you know, natural phenomena that exist. And so we're going to be applying to the task team for monies, and we will also be applying to ACOA for monies as well. They have a program that allows for up to a 75% contribution on their parts, but they still require that the organization, the nonprofit, contribute 10% of the total project cost. And the project cost, as I said, are certification, marketing, bringing in people to educate people in our community so that they can economically benefit from the designation, so that they can become guides and offer night photography, you know, seminars and classes and things of that sort. There's really no limit to what can be done. And we have to still come up with 10%. And it's a 2-year project. And it's a project that's absolutely going to happen. And we have to have monies that are our operating monies. And we don't have much money. We're a new organization. And we hope that council over a 2-year period could assist us with that 10% that we will need. And that's basically all I have to say. I don't know if you guys have any questions or would like some additional information.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Yes,
Yeah.
Lee?
Thank you for your presentation. I just wanted to make sure, I know I happen to be on Bon Temps, so I do know a little bit about the project, but just so I'm clear, the reserve status is exactly what?
The Starlight Foundation gives 2 certifications. They either give a reserve status for protected areas that really don't need much remediation to receive the status, but it also guarantees that those protected areas are given an additional layer of protection. You know, obviously, if there's no light, there's not going to be any development, and that status is reserved for places like the Toviatic. And then the other status is for a place where people live, but still live in places that are dark enough to not violate the integrity of the Starlight Foundation's mission. And it just so happens our lack of development, our dark skies, you know, which we've always bemoaned and, you know, decried, are one of our best resources, at least today. And I think that will continue to be so.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Councillor Surratt?
You will be approaching Claire and Yarmouth, I would presume, for possible funding also.
We have, Claire has already put monies in their budget for the Starlight project this year. And the Acadia First Nation, and I'm not going to say how much, but they offered a sizable amount of money as well. And what they offered will be reduced partially because we finally found someone who was so gracious as to pay for the region's certification. But Yarmouth Municipality, our strategy is, at this point anyway, Acadia First Nation is going to have an installation in the Gardener's Mill area in Yarmouth Municipality. And at least for now, that's our idea of how Yarmouth Municipality is going to participate. Once we get the certification, if Yarmouth Municipality wants to deconstruct or retrofit their street lighting system to be in line with Starlight's guidelines, we'll welcome them in. But in the meantime, if we invite them in now, I'm worried that the process may be slowed because I think Yarmouth Municipality has over 1,000 street lights. And I think we have 4.
Yeah,
Yes.
right, yeah. Yeah.
Good thing.
Our community is very forward-thinking.
Yeah.
Saving a lot of money on streetlights and allowing us to easily slip into this certification.
Right. Thank you, Vaughn. You know, certainly support Bon Temps. I'll certainly support Bon Temps all I can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
And coming back to, so Bon Temps is looking for 10% over, it's over 2 years, right?
Correct.
So which is good, because that way for council perspective, you know, kind of stretches things out, and
Yeah.
so which is great. And I just jotted down, basically the sky's the limit, right?
That's right. Yep. This is only phase one. There'll be a phase two and a phase three, and I think it will lead to some it's one thing. There'll be other things that we'll have to embrace in the future to improve the state of things in our community, but it's one thing that will at least give us some traction and some very good visibility. I also, as I mentioned before, I do understand that if the council was very gracious and gave or allocated $12,500 towards the National Geographic Geotourism Project, and I would certainly understand when you were considering our request for Starlight that maybe those funds might be converted to Starlight use versus the National Geographic Project. It will happen too someday, but we're a small organization, we're new, and we feel like we should focus. This is the most tangible thing, the thing that can happen most quickly, and the thing that will have the most immediate results for our community. So we haven't given up on National Geographic.
No. Okay. Any more questions or comments? Councillor
I
Donaldson?
guess more of a comment than anything. Since you've been doing your presentation, I've been looking for maps, and is there one that you particularly suggest for seeing maps of where the best lighting is? I'm looking at one here that's bluemarble.de, and it seems to be a pretty good one. Do you have any other suggestions?
Yeah. In fact, I can't remember the URL,
Okay.
but maybe Charlie remembers it.
If you-
I think if you go to the Trout Point Lodge page, actually, we have
A link?
clear sky chart,
Okay.
and there's a clickable link on there that will lead you to a map. And you can actually click another link once you're at that map, and it will overlay either onto Google Maps or Google Earth, and you can see, as much territory as you want.
What I asked this
I
year.
can send a link to everyone.
Okay. What I asked this year during the Baptic Festival, which is the
Yep.
little festival we have in Argyle, we're gonna have a night, if we can get a night without fog,
Yep.
and we're gonna do exactly what you're talking about, have an amateur astronomer
It makes
come
sense.
in.
It makes
And,
sense. Yeah.
so-
And you know that.
We're trying to get Albert D'Altamont, if anybody knows him.
Yep, and he's good.
And the more events like that we can point to for when the tourism auditor comes, the better.
Okay.
Because we will be charged with, we will be given a 4-year time span to actually show, that we've executed the plan that we've given to them. And so these sorts of things, help show in fact that there's community support and community involvement, and that the educational component of Starlight is being fulfilled. And so it's very important. And the great thing about part of this project that we're proposing is sometimes we have a hard time finding astronomers. It's hard to get people to come down here, though this year's been a crazy year in terms of astronomers, at least in terms of Trout Point. But in the future, hopefully, we can train enough people in the community so that they can go to your festival, so that they can go to the Argyler, or they can go to the Red Cap, and they can have Starlight-themed events, and these people in our community who have learned to do this astronomy thing will be able to help our businesses participate as well.
We're just in pre-schedule now. At our next meeting in another week or two, hopefully that whoever was looking after this will have more information and we'll be able to actually schedule the event.
Yeah.
So, and another one would be good to get would be Peter Loveridge. He's an amateur astronomer. So, trying to get something set up for the kids, get them out and interested.
Yes. Good.
That's just comments I had, that's all.
Thank you. We did have somebody last year, was it, at the village in
Yeah.
Pubnico one evening.
As well.
It was good.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we'll build on that this year.
Huh?
We hope to improve.
Yes.
It was good, and we hope to every year make it better.
Yeah.
One more question
Yep.
from me. So there's no budget attached to this because I know we're still working on that component, but I guess being this time of the year,
I do have a budget that I can get to you guys.
okay, yeah, because
We
council
we
will
did
have
that
to see
last
the-
meeting.
Perfect. Council will have to see
Yeah.
the hard numbers. For
Yep.
some reason, we like numbers, and Alan's not even here tonight.
No,
but,
no, I understand and I apologize, because
No,
last
no.
meeting, we had a budget meeting and we approved, the board approved all of these things for the next 2 years.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
I can get you that.
Great.
Good, thank you.
With a breakdown. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ron. Good presentation. Any more comments from, no? Okay, good.
All right.
We'll give Chris some email, some URL links so that you can find all the things we talked about.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Drive safely, huh?
Okay.
Okay. Adoption of minutes, next item.
Want some help?
It's okay if I pull the table back. Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Watch the wire, I guess.
Okay. Next item is adoption of minutes. The minutes of the regular council of March the 11th.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Special council meeting for the ferry terminal of March the 18th, 2014.
Sorry, it has to be moved by someone who's at the meeting.
Thought of that after.
Sorry.
Yes.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. And the third one is the committee of the whole of March the 25th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's carried. Business arising from the minutes. Do you want to
So,
update on that?
thank you,
please?
Warden. Just, you see that the attachment on business arising, there's simply the municipal administration building. And I just added a update that April 15th, the staff committee is going to meet again to try and gather a bit more information before presenting it to you. So there's still a few things that we're looking at and trying to get some information from outside external sources as well. Because we wanted to kind of put a package together before bringing it back, because I know we talked about it back and forth. So that's where we are with that. And that was the only thing.
And that's the, what, 10 o'clock meeting, is it?
That's actually just the staff meeting separately, just to gather the information before having a meeting together with council. Yep.
Yeah, okay, thank you. The other item is policy approvals.
So,
Yes. go
sorry,
ahead.
this is just, it's actually the second time on the agenda. The first time at last meeting was just for first notice. And this time, if you wish, it can be approved. There are no changes from the first time that we presented it at last meeting. So the first is the pension plan policy, with the small change there. And the second is the dangerous and unsightly policy. So John got some help in trying to change the words a bit to just make it a bit more, I guess, put some teeth into it, like we say. And if you wish, you can approve those, but we'd like to do it separately, obviously, just two different motions. If there's any questions.
You have any questions or comments on the first one? Pension plan. I think we had a good discussion of that, or Alain explained it to us last meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Yeah.
Motion carried. The other one is dangerous and unsightly. I've had a chance to read it and read the highlighted parts. Anybody have any comments or questions? Or a motion to approve? Yes, Councillor Surratt.
I'd like to move that we accept this policy for the dangerous and unsightly.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item is the Warden's report. You've all had a chance to read it. When I made my report Sunday, I didn't have this to report, but yesterday, I just want to report that yesterday, Jeanette and Natalie and I went to Halifax to the provincial volunteer awards ceremony, and we received the Municipality of District of Argyll in recognition of Model Volunteer Community of the Year. Every year one municipality is awarded this award, and we're the ones that got it this year. Which I'm very proud to receive that on behalf of the municipality. It had nothing to do with me, but just the community as a whole. And like I told them, I spoke a few words, of course, congratulated everybody, and I said, you know, I mentioned, it had mentioned in the write-up about 900 volunteers for the Jeux d'Acadie. And I said, do you realize that that's over 10% of our population, you know? And I ended up by saying we're a small community with a big heart. So we'll hang this in where everybody can see it. And, thank you, Chris. The final part of my report, I couldn't report that Sunday because it hadn't happened yet. Any questions on the report, or if not, we'll go to Councillor's report. Does anybody have a Councillor LeBlanc?
Yeah, it's been a busy time in my district, I guess. First off, yesterday we had a meeting at 3 o'clock with 4 gentlemen representing different sectors, the Nova Scotia Agriculture Association, as well as the president of the Mink Ranchers Association. The meeting was stemmed from our Argyll Economic Development Committee. Basically, just to have a big conversation. They had a nice presentation, just to talk about problems that the mink industry faces, as well as, you know, upcoming potential, and just, it's not something we see too much here in Argyll, but it's something that we felt that the Economic Development Committee should, you know, be on top of, if there's anything we can do to help. And you know, there's been negative vibe towards mink ranching here in southwest Nova Scotia, and just, we wanted to, you know, ask them what they feel could be done about that, or what we feel could be done about that. Anyway, we had a great conversation, and we learned a lot. You know, nothing concrete came out of it, but it was very informative, and really a good meeting. We also had, it wasn't part of the development committee, but a lot of us were there, as well as a few other of our councillors. We had a meeting with Angela Bishop. She's with the Agriculture Association of Nova Scotia, and very interesting meeting. Agriculture, we felt, is just listening to her, and as well as knowing them, it's a huge upcoming industry, and it was a great meeting to hear. You know, again, like any other industry, they have their problems, and you know, things that could be done to help them out and promote, you know, growth. And with we're just trying to think outside of the box, I guess, in our communities now with our outward migration. You know, we're trying to look at every sector that we can, try to entice to come to our area, and what we can do to help. So that was good. We had Tuna Fest, which raised just over $3,000 for the Westport Tuna Museum. Bunch of volunteers, spearheaded by my brother, actually, got together and made a 3-night concert at the Theatre in Tuscany, and raised some money for the Tuna Museum, which was great. Speaking of the Tuna Museum, the 19th, we have an upcoming, I just thought I'd take this chance to mention, we have an upcoming lobster dip challenge. I've never heard of really anything like that in our area, so I invite you all, anyone listening, to come, and you can also submit a dip.
It's not dipping it in the pot.
Not quite. Essentially, people are coming over, and you compete, blind taste test to who has the best lobster dip. So if you guys know anyone in your areas that claim to have the best lobster dip, or if you guys really just like to eat lobster dip, it's $10 a person. There's a cash bar as well on the 19th at 7 p.m. in the Tuna Museum in Westport. So that should be real fun. Friday, the Ren Liaison Committee is looking to meet with, as well as the new Board of Directors for the Ren to approve the intermunicipal agreement. So that is quite exciting, really. It's sort of revolutionary. We're going to be the first, I believe, the first Ren in the province to be doing that. So it's nice that our CAO Alain was spearheading that project, and he did a really great job. So we're looking to move forward with that. And I think just by talking to individual members of the Board of Directors, they're quite excited about that. And lastly, which I'm very discouraged to say, I only got the invitation yesterday. I don't feel that's very appropriate, but we have a meeting tomorrow evening at the Wetchport Fire Hall for the meeting's been called, not a meeting, but a public information session by Watt Energy, that they're looking to put a single turbine up on the Black Pond Road, where the current I don't think they have just exactly coordinates just yet, but near the test tower that's currently there. So very discouraged with the late announcement. I seen it in the last Vanguard there, but that is tomorrow night. So for investment opportunities, as well as people who have feedback or would like some questions answered, that is tomorrow evening.
At the fire hall.
At the fire hall at
7
p.m. I do believe, yes. So if anyone would like to attend, that's tomorrow night. Sorry to take up so much of your time, that's all.
Thank you very much. Councillor Surratt.
Just like to inform council and the people out there that we had a waste check meeting, and there was a dinner, also a waste dinner, and I think the warden put that on his report. In early April, there was a dinner for all the businesses. Club 300 is called, the businesses that participate or participate in the waste check program, and they may have won because of some of the recycling they do. So that was very well attended. Warden was there.
Yeah.
And it was very well attended, and it was okay.
The monthly winners of
The
award, yeah.
the monthly winners of the award, thank you. Also, the municipal alcohol project is moving along. We had a meeting today, and they're having 30 youths to come to Campanile on May 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. And I've been involved, along with the two other units, into organizing chaperones, speakers, and all that. And again, as I've stated before, they will be making a presentation to each unit, to each council. After they've done their project, it'll be like a video presentation. So I think that's a worthwhile project for our youth. On the other side of the coin, our bridge, just in case nobody knew, there was a bridge being built somewhere in the municipality. Anyhow, the bridge celebration program is moving forward. We've just got a Facebook page going now. It just started on Sunday. We have items for sale. There'll be T-shirts, hats, and keychains and other stuff like that. So anyhow, invite anybody to go have a look at it. And if you're interested to spend a few bucks, come on down. And it is the 28th of June, the celebrations. That's it.
Thank you, Councillor Surratt. Anybody else have a report? If not, we'll go on to the CAO's report. You've all had time to read it. A lot of reading, but a lot of information. I don't know if you have anything to...
If you have any questions,
Yeah.
I tried to add as much information as on the things that I deal with Alain with. If you have any questions, I'll definitely take them, or you can email him. I did want to add, however, about the boundary review that I didn't add in the report. We just finished our second video, and we're putting that together with the rest of the information for the website. And that's like the second phase of our website. So it'll have both options. And then hopefully in 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have our public consultation meetings in the public to get their input on the options. So that's where we are with the boundary review. I know maybe we haven't talked about it here in a couple meetings, but that's where we are with that.
Okay, good.
So I don't know if you have any other questions about the report, but I can try to answer them if you do.
Councillor Muse?
Just a quick question on the boundary review. The public consultations, do you have a schedule, like how that's going to take place, or where, or?
That's a good question. We do have a, I guess, a tentative schedule. We're going to do 4 different public meetings in 4 areas in the municipality, more than likely in either the places that are affected and the places that are, I guess, bigger. So we're thinking of Westport, Pimlico, Sar, Tusket, and East Kemp.
Okay,
And we're thinking of doing them on Wednesday and Thursday night in 2 weeks.
okay.
So
Thank
the
you.
exact dates aren't for sure, but we're hoping it'll be in April.
Mhm.
Either the end of April and into May, or roughly around that time.
Yes.
So that keeps us quite a bit on schedule of what we had presented to you.
Yes.
There might be maybe a bit of tweaking there, but
Mm.
should be good with that.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, no more questions. If you have any questions, you can call Chris at work.
Yeah,
Don't call him at home, call him at work.
anytime.
Some people don't want to call at home so he don't bother you at work, even when it's about work.
They don't want to call me redundant to leave, but.
Yeah. Okay, next item is part of the annual general meeting, of course, the annual meeting, the appointment of auditors. You have that in front of you, the proposed motion.
Move that. Move that council approves the firm of Grant Culligan as auditors of the municipality for the fiscal year 2014-2015. Second.
Yes, Councillor LeBlanc.
I just wanted to make the motion, that's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Appointment of solicitor.
Move that we approve the firm of Dr. Moberjo as solicitors for the municipality for the fiscal year of 2014 and 15.
Second.
At the same retainer fee as president, I guess.
Rael, was that you that seconded that?
No, Mr. Warden.
Yeah. Put that on record.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, auditor's report, that would be, we'll table that for
Yep.
later. We don't have
To the budget meeting, yeah.
during the budget meeting. Councillor remuneration resolution. Anybody have any questions, or it's just status quo?
So we have to make a motion, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Have to make a motion every year. Yes, Councillor Surratt.
I'd like to move that we, see what it says here. You know, that 1/3 of all remuneration paid to the warden, deputy warden, and members of municipal council in the 2014-2015 fiscal year shall be designated as a non-taxable expense allowance. I so move that.
Moved by Surratt and seconded by Burke. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Appointment of officers. We have fire wards, which is the chief and deputy chiefs of all 9 fire departments of the municipality or serving the municipality through mutual aid. Then we have sheep valuers, Arnold Dion and Kevin LeBlanc, and EMO coordinator, chair information officer Janine Doucette and Peggy Boudreau.
I'll make the motion, that council make a motion to approve the enclosed list of appointments as officers of the municipality of Argyle for the fiscal year 2014-2015.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Take your pick. Okay, next item, membership to UNSM and FCM.
I'll make a motion that council approve membership to the UNSM and FCM 2014 and 15.
Second.
Questions or comments? Not, although, yes?
No, I was just gonna make the motion.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Other business and for decision. First item, 15A, letter of support for Eel Lake Oyster Farm. I think he's applying for a new site, and, yes, yeah, I think,
I was just going to say, I didn't know if Nicole or you wanted to talk about this more, but I did attach on the agenda the notice that was in the Vanguard regarding Eel Lake Oyster Farm's application for, I guess, a plot or a place in to expand their farm. And that came out of our meeting that we had with the Aquaculture Association. We kind of got into discussions, and he explained what it was and the process and all of that. So I don't know if Nicole, you wanted to add anything on that.
Just, and he was looking for support from council because it's an industry that there's a lot of red tape, and there is so much potential for growth, but he's finding that it's taking a long time for things to get moving. So he was asking us to send a letter of support to hopefully help kind of move things along. So we said that we would do that.
thank you.
I would like to make the motion that we send a letter of support.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Surratt, did you?
Maybe I can direct this question to Nicole. Is there any community participation, or there has to be public meetings on this, or is just an application as far as you know?
As far as I know, it was like, that was in the Vanguard, we had attached.
Yes.
But,
No requirement for, as far as you know. That's all I wanted to know. Thank
Probably
you.
has to advertise, that's probably why it's in the paper.
Yeah.
Very good.
So just to add, the letter of support would be for the application itself of Eel Lake. Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. That's pretty clean, that the shellfish aquaculture industry is, you know, it's not the same as the finfish, but the finfish, there's nothing wrong with the finfish either, but there's a lot of opposition to it in areas. But the shellfish, it's a whole different game.
No waste.
Chemin de Jacquard and Highway 334 conditions. I think that's yours,
That would be mine.
Councillor LeBlanc.
Yeah, just very quickly, what's going on? The Chemin de Jacquard, in case you don't know, is the road going to the Westport Breakwater, the main wharf, actually currently the only commercial wharf that's being used. Tuna Wharf now is, it's still being used, I guess, but not as much. So a lot of transport activity where the road meets the main road, the Highway 334 at the stop sign. Actually, currently we have a new underlying issue is there's a pothole there where the pave drops off. But this problem stemmed before the pothole, it's the turning radius. Kind of touching on what we talked about last meeting, where to send this concern. This is not a normal request. This isn't a sign that's tipped over or a ditch that needs to be cleaned out. This is different. It's the turning radius that's the problem. It's hard to see around the corner when you're at the stop sign. And given the fact of the high traffic due to offloading of the fish plants and lobster processing facilities and just all the lobster boats selling their lobsters, there's a lot of transport taking that corner. And I've been contacted. I actually got a letter today, which is why it's not attached. I have a letter signed by all the companies that operate out of the Westport Breakwater requesting that we push this issue to the Minister of Transport regarding the turning radius as well as the pothole now. So what they're looking to do is the corner is kind of on a 90-degree angle. On the other side of the road, 20 feet from there, going into the Tuna Wharf Road, they widen that corner so you can kind of come in and it's not so much of a 90-degree, it's on a smaller slope. So they're looking for something similar like that to happen on the other side of the intersection on the Jacquard Road. There is a house there, but it's right on the corner, but I'm sure something can be done. I've spoke with our MLA, Chris Dontremo. He feels like something can definitely be done. So I guess what all we're requesting this evening is that we send a letter to the minister from the municipality, from the warden, requesting that they at least take a look at the issue and see if anything can be done.
Yes.
Is there any, I guess, is there any person in particular that is supposed to be in charge of that department that we can talk to, or have you talked to? The Greg Newell's?
I spoke, to be honest, I haven't spoke to, yes, it's not true. They were made aware of it. They put gravel in the pothole last year. But I spoke with Chris Dontremo, and he said because it's sort of a unique request, that the letter should be forwarded to the minister, and that he would designate the appropriate department to come take a look at it.
Okay. Because I've actually have a same situation in my community, the road that I live on. And,
He approached me this morning
yeah,
too.
yeah. So, thank you for that.
No problem. So I guess I'm making a motion that we send a letter to the Minister of Transport, attached with the letter I've received this morning regarding the issue, requesting that they take a look at it and see if something can be done.
It's been seconded, I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
And I
Councillor
can,
Donaldson?
and I can attest to both the Dennis Point Road and that Wharf Road, that they're very hard to get into and out of with a 53-foot trailer behind you.
And the one that we're talking about is not the Dennis Point Road.
Well, that one's hard, because
I know.
the ditch
Yeah, I
is
know.
so deep there.
Yeah, that one also, yeah. We have
And the
complaints
and the
about that
road
one
he's
too.
talking about, when you're coming out of it, you have to go way
Very
across.
much so.
And the Dennis Point, I've heard complaints there too, and it's even for school buses, you know, it's a steep bank. The ditch is 8 feet deep, you know, and sometimes when the bus turns on that corner, one of the hind wheels is sometimes over the edge,
Yeah,
so it's not very safe.
but there's a lot of places, Stars Road, Main Street too.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. It's not the Chemin de Petit Jacquard then. It's not the same road, right?
It's not even funny.
No. Sorry. The next item is second reading, third-party credit service fee bylaw. Oh, yes, okay.
So this bylaw was presented to council in March for the first reading. It's the same bylaw. There are no changes from the first reading. It was advertised in the Vanguard on March 25th, which is 15 days before today. So that works for the process of passing a bylaw. And just to refresh or explain again, the purpose of the bylaw is to establish the service fee for credit card processing. In the municipality, we've been asked by the company the third-party company that we deal with to pass a bylaw, just to, I guess, accept that council accepts the service fee. So it's a service fee that's added in addition to the tax payment when you use a credit card.
Now, I think for clarification, if I remember right, this is only for people that are paying the taxes?
Correct. With a credit
Not for everybody
card.
that comes in here with a credit card?
No, it would be, well, it would have to be, it's when you use your credit card. There's a 3% fee, but it's on taxes.
Just on taxes?
Yeah, paid on a property tax account.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And the third-party company determines the percentage.
The percentage, the amount, yeah.
So that's the bulk of the policy, and if there are any questions, I can answer them, or,
Yeah. We need approval of that.
yeah, if it's council's wish, they can approve that today.
Yes, Councillor Surratt?
I'd like to move that we accept this bylaw that's, or not the bylaw, but the third-party credit card service fee bylaw be accepted as explained by our
Approved, not accepted.
approved. Thank you.
I think, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct wording, I guess.
Thank you.
Second.
Any more questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Yarmouth Hospital Foundation Spring Gala. Next item. We've just received this since the last meeting, I think, and
Correct. We received this after our last meeting. It's a request that we do receive, or we have received in the last couple of years. And it is to, I guess, sponsor a table at their spring gala. The cost of the table per person is $150, and there's 8 people at a table, so that's a total of $1,200 that we usually sponsor, and members of council attend the spring gala. So this is the same request that is coming from the hospital foundation.
okay. Councillor Murphy?
I make a motion, it's for a good cause, and I make a motion that we sponsor a table, like we always have done.
There's a mover and a seconder. Any more questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So I guess whoever wants to go, council can
Yes,
give
they
you
can.
the name.
Yep, they can let you guys.
Like
You
it
can let
can
me
be
know.
First come, first serve, I
that's-
guess, or
yep.
whatever.
I have received already a couple of names.
Yeah. Councillor Muse.
Just to comment on the attendance, it's first come, first serve, is that the way we
Well-
do that?
Typically, that's what we do. And if
Typically, we do.
We never had a problem so far.
No.
You know, but we,
Yeah,
go ahead.
that's worked. Just that, I mean, if someone wanted to go that hadn't gone before, I feel that perhaps
Okay.
they should be looked at if you know, if you've attended before and someone who hasn't gone, maybe draw a hat or whatever if that was the case. But anyway, just a comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to Chris about that today, and I said the same thing. If I go, I will be going alone. I mean, my wife is not going to be here, so if it means breaking up another couple or something like that, I would gladly let somebody else go.
I can be your date.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a date.
Kind of insulting.
But I if my name was there and someone
Yes.
who hasn't attended wanted to go,
Yeah.
I would gladly give my
Okay,
my ticket
thank you.
to someone who hasn't attended.
Councillor Donaldson?
I went last year, I'm not gonna put my name in this year, but maybe we should come up with some kind of a rotation system that makes sure everybody gets a chance to go.
Well, and some can and some can't, see?
Yeah,
Yeah, so far, excuse me, so far we haven't had a problem. you
Okay,
know.
yeah,
But
that's good. I mean, as long as it's not a problem, that's
Yeah.
fine. But if it became a problem
Well,
where
if
someone wanted to go and they couldn't
comes up that
go.
there's more than 8, then
Yeah.
we can either draw out of a hat or.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'll
Okay.
take the names and make a list and go
Yeah.
from there.
thank you. Glenwood Park Lifeguard Services, next item. I guess Jeanette is looking at, this came out of a committee or that was looking after what they did, the little beach they put in last year and this and that, and they kind of came as a recommendation. I've not had a chance to read this, but if we could get the financing that Jeanette is looking for, it would cost us $4,000 a year. It's a 2-year kind of project. So I don't know what,
I can.
yeah, go ahead, Chris, if you have any more information.
Sure. Thank you, Warden. Just to give you, I guess, Jeanette provided this request for decision a little bit like she does for her day camp budget. So she provides the information in the budget beforehand so that she can prepare her budget when the time comes in May. So this comes actually from discussions in the Recreation Department, from comments they received from the public after we did the renovations at the Glenwood Park with the beach, and also from discussions at ARC, a bit of discussions on what they thought. So what it entails is it would be a 2-year pilot project in partnership with Nova Scotia Lifeguard Services to provide 2 lifeguards at Glenwood Park for 2 days of the week for a total of 16 hours, so 8 to 6 Saturday and Sunday, I believe. The way that it works is the Nova Scotia Lifeguard Services provide the service for us. So they provide the equipment, the training, the lifeguards, the scheduling. They do all of that. So it's a little bit like we pay for the service. The way the cost and budget and the considerations are there. The proposed budget from Nova Scotia Lifeguard Services was also attached to the request for decision. But there is a possibility that we could get 50% funding for the project, for the lifeguard service. So the cost of one lifeguard would be 1 year would be $8,155, which our portion of that could be roughly $4,000. So for a 2-year pilot project, our portion would be $8,155 for 2 lifeguards, correct. The request or the submission of for the grant for 50% would only happen if we would go ahead with the project. So we would have to, I guess Jeanette would have to prepare for the lifeguard services and then request and submit an application to Recreation Nova Scotia. She did speak to Debbie Smith from Recreation Nova Scotia, and the probability of receiving that 50% is very high, according to Debbie. So, but obviously the project would depend on that. We also had questions. If you look through the memorandum of agreement that's attached to the request for a decision, that is the memorandum of agreement with Nova Scotia Lifeguard Services. And there are a few points that I would like to raise in that memorandum, just to clarify it if you did have any questions. The first is they provide all of the services and they have the liability of the lifeguards. And we checked for the liability of, it says in the agreement that we have suitable liability insurance to cover damage and claims as they pertain to the site alone. So since it's a provincial park, Department of Natural Resources would cover the liability of the site itself. And then Nova Scotia Lifeguard Services provides the liability for the lifeguards. So we're covered in that sense. And there's also a few other points that they raise for the cost of providing storage, so a shed or a storage room, I guess, and that's already there, so we wouldn't have to make or buy anything of that sort. There is an option that if after, let's say, the first year, we see that it isn't really working out and maybe we don't want to do it the second year, we can opt out after the first year. So those are just some points that I wanted to make about the request. But if there's any other questions, I can
Deputy Warden?
answer them.
I read this and found it very interesting since we just, I guess, fixed up or revamped the Glenwood Park Beach, and we're trying to promote, healthy living and, active living. And
Certainly.
so this kind of falls right in that mandate, and I don't have a problem supporting this. So.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Surratt?
Couple of questions, probably for Chris, and it's question one. Would this be coming out of Jeanette's budget, or is that a new money? Is that new money coming out of council that we'd have to budget? From council?
This would be incorporated in Jeanette's budget. So if it were to be approved tonight, she would arrange for that to be added into her budget. Now, it would be a new item in her budget, however, so.
Could be an increase or whatever.
Or it would be some shifting of
numbers.
Numbers, yeah.
And my second question is, if we do make a motion whatever council would think, we would, if we approve it, it would be on consideration, if I can use the right word, of the 50% provincial. Yes, would be do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So contingent on if the government puts half of the money in,
Yep,
then we approve it.
That can definitely be a part of that.
I guess in order for her to send a request for the 50%, she has to have our approval.
I know what you mean now,
And we, you know, if.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's-
catch-22 type of thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
I'm ready to make the motion.
Go ahead.
We have the 1-year clause to opt out, so that would cover any
Yeah,
concerns that Guy had. So, yeah, I'm ready to approve this, especially when you look back at the cost of the project and how much money we saved with the federal funding that we ended up getting. It cost far less than what we expected the project to cost, so
Yeah.
I think we should give it a try based on the usage last summer.
I'll second that.
okay, you have mover and a secondary.
I was going to second it, but I got beat to it, but and I was gonna make the motion, but I knew that Councillor Donaldson was gonna make it.
You felt it.
Councillor LeBlanc?
It's not often this happens, but I don't know if I'm really quite convinced. Is there enough activity there to merit spending tax dollars on something like this? I don't doubt it's a good idea, obviously safety, but quite frankly, I haven't been there as much as you guys have. Really?
You what?
Was that right?
Well, you answered my question, I guess. I just, in times like this, we have to be thrifty. I'm just thinking, given the fact that the provincial funding is there as well, it makes it a lot easier of a decision.
And a request has come from the community itself.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
it has?
It has. They-
Really? Okay. See, I thought this was just spearheaded by the rec department.
No.
It's been feedback then. Okay. You convinced me. Great.
I was kind of surprised in the last couple of years how many people use it, you know, and go swimming there, not only use the park, but use, very good. So we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Can I add something, please?
Yes, sir.
Just to touch on your point a little bit, after the first year will be done, we'll look at the numbers
Yeah.
and to see if it added
Feel
or,
if
just
there's value
to
doing it again.
help
Yeah,
you
of
guys.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
We will have numbers then.
And so just so I made sure I understand what, that motion was for the 2-year pilot project, not just 1 year, okay? And then it would be okay, and reevaluated after, perfect.
Right? Seconder? The motion was for the 2-year pilot project?
Yes.
Okay.
Great, thank you. So I'll let Jeanette know that, we'll let Jeanette know that,
Yeah.
that was approved and she'll go on with the
Yeah.
process and we'll keep you updated as
Yeah.
it goes.
Good, thank you. Next item is Nakile board member appointment. I think somebody that has been on the board for a long time, I guess, has resigned
Yeah.
and they already have somebody that's agreed to serve if we so choose. So, Councillor Muse.
I'd like to move that we accept the recommendation to accept Raymond Doucette on the board of Nakile.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Going on to 16, correspondence, and for information, the 2013-14 March, the month of March, building permit comparisons. I think compares with the last year's.
Yep.
And development, building, and subdivision annual report. So if anybody has any questions, you can, I'm not sure if you can answer or just call John.
I
Talk
can
to
answer
John.
or take down questions. It's simple. The first one is a comparison from March
Yeah.
to March, and the second one's the annual report of all of this year. And they're both
Yeah.
from the Department of Public Works.
For your information. Next item, notice of motion by councillors. Does anybody have a notice of motion for a future meeting? If not, we'll go on to question period. Any questions from the audience? From the gallery? No? Okay, I guess we'll have to entertain a motion to go in camera.
Motion to
We have
go in camera.
a short in-camera session.